Welcome to CX Riot Radio, a customer experience podcast. Yeah, CX, contact centers, and a little company culture stuff too. This episode's called LAA. Listen, acknowledge, act. And it's about, wait for it, marrying empathy and efficiency. Now hold on tight, it's about to begin. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Beautiful bean footage. Bean footage. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bean footage. Beans. Beautiful, beautiful bean footage. Beans. Beans.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of CX Riot Radio, where we talk about customer experience and stuff, still in a hyper-caffeinated state. I'm your host. My name is David, and I am the Caffeinated CXO. It is spooky season, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, squirrels and lemurs, ghosts and ghouls, raccoons and opossums. It is spooky season, and it is almost Halloween. Tomorrow, as of the release of this episode, is Halloween. That is pretty cool. This year has gone by so fast. It is very, very, very Halloween-esque. So, today, we're going to talk about something. And that something is... there's a theory out there that some people have, and a lot of people will say the opposite, but they don't really believe it, that you can't have efficiency and empathy in the same call script, right? The same call, the same culture, or whatever you want to call it, right? And that theory, my friends, is complete bullshit. Now, we're going to dive into that for a little bit, and then I'll leave you alone, because there is a Halloween special coming out tomorrow on my YouTube channel. It's a pretty good one, if I do say so myself. If you allow me to be that bold, it is a very special Halloween episode. YouTube exclusive. Unless I post it somewhere else. I don't know. It is what it is. So, let's just get into it. Let's dive in. But before I do that, my friends, go ahead, slam that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment, review, share the show so we can make the show grow, and I'll be forever thankful. I will love you for the rest of your life, or if my life is longer, my life. That's right. So, let's talk about one of the biggest myths in customer service. The idea that you have to choose between empathy and efficiency. Like you can either be the nice guy, all empathetic and soft, or the time saver who gets things done fast but leaves the customer feeling like a number, right? And I have gone into the subject in other episodes of why incentivizing average handle time is one of the stupidest ideas in the history of call centers. And I will stand by that. And I still think that is correct. Because it is. But you can still build rapport and still show empathy and still be the nice guy in a call that gets right to the point. Empathy and efficiency are not at odds. They are not enemies. They actually make each other better when done right. And because, as you guys all know, unless you don't, I'm in the home services business, right? Where people aren't calling in to chit-chat. They're not calling in to talk. They're calling in because they have an issue and their house is flooding or they're roasting or freezing to death. Okay? So getting the balance between efficiency and empathy, it needs to be done right, and it needs to be done fast, and it needs to be done with skill. So, why am I talking about this? Because empathy without efficiency is just fluff. It's just feel-good nonsense. Customers want a solution. They want to be heard. So, empathy without efficiency is fluff. Efficiency without empathy is wrong. It makes you robotic. They might as well just be filling out the little online schedule on your website. Right? So, customers want a solution. They want their problem fixed, but they want to be heard. They want to know they're valued and that their problem matters to the person they're speaking with. When you get that balance right, customers are happier, they come back, and they stick with you for the long haul until the very end. They might even leave you one of those coveted 5-star reviews, right? The one thing that keeps the calls coming in cheap. All right, and honestly, the stats here back it up. Harvard Business Review found that 81% of people stay loyal when they feel heard and get a quick, effective response. So, empathy and efficiency aren't just random traits or at opposite with each other. They're business drivers. You have to have both, right? In this industry and many others, the best solution for the customer is to get them on the schedule. Period. Right? As far as the initial call or the initial interaction goes. The person actually has to go out and fix it, of course, but we're talking about the first step, the first leg of the journey. So, all right. So, let's go into a couple of examples here, right? So, imagine a customer calling you because their water heater blew out, right? They're stressed, a little panicked, right? And they want a solution. They want to take a shower. They want their kids to not be dirty little earth monkeys, okay? There's two things that you can handle it. Empathy, but no speed. That's the first one. The agent goes deep into emphasizing spending 15 minutes chatting about how bad the situation is, but not getting any closer to fix. Not asking for the customer's business, not asking for their schedule. The customer feels understood, but they're still standing in cold water with no help on the way. Yeah. Speed but zero connection is the next one, the next outcome if you only use one or the other. The agent jumps into robot mode, into voice bot mode into form fill mode, locking in an appointment fast, but without so much as a sorry you're dealing with that. Empathy statements, as much as I make fun of them, are important. They might have booked quickly, but the customer feels like an afterthought, like they're just a number in the queue. Yeah, they got taken care of. They're on the schedule, but do you really trust a company that's not going to spend the time to talk to you, to maybe build a little bit of a relationship pre-sell? Right? That's going to make the sales process harder too. So both of these approaches fail. That's the bottom line. If you really want to deliver, you need empathy plus action. So the right move that you should do, acknowledge the situation. I hear you. Let's get this fixed ASAP, and then pivot to locking in the solution fast. Put them on the schedule. Ask for their business. Don't just emphasize with them and answer all their questions and then be like, okay, well, all right. And then they are like, hey, I'll call you back. No, they won't. They're standing in water and you just wasted their time being the nice guy. Well, I guess they didn't really want to fix my issue. The person just liked to talk, right? So that's crazy. So this is actually how you have to make it happen on the floor. Okay? Active listening, but make it quick. No need to drag anything out. Acknowledge the frustration, but keep it tight. That sounds rough. Let's get you taken care of. Boom. I wouldn't say it like that, but those are some good words to use, right? Tone matters. That one line shows you're listening, then goes straight into scheduling, right? Another way of doing this is, oh, I'm sorry to hear your toilet's running. You better go catch it. Just kidding. All right. But equip your team with short, empathetic phrases that move things along. Stuff like, I understand how urgent this is. Let's dive into a solution, right? Oh, that sounds awful. Let's put you on the schedule. Let's get someone out there ASAP for you, right? Efficiency falls apart when agents have to keep running back for approvals. If they're trained and trusted, give them a little wiggle room to make quick calls for minor issues. This cuts down on back and forth, gives the customer a solution faster, and lets the agent own the solution start to finish. This is like, let's say one of your divisions is overbooked, right? Too many jobs, not enough technicians. A good problem to have, revenue speaking, right? Short term anyway. Let the CSR, let the person answering the phone book emergency calls, even if there's no availability. Let the dispatcher figure out the logistics. That's what the dispatcher is there for. And I am of the opinion that CSR should book all calls for whenever the customer wants, as long as they remind the customer that it is a request and that a dispatcher will call them to go over the appointment details, right? So I'm of that opinion. CSR's inbound call takers should focus on volume. Dispatchers should focus on logistics. Period. End of story. It is what it is. If you don't agree with me, you're wrong. It's okay. So, implement the following. LAA. LAA. Listen, acknowledge, act. Okay? LAA. That's stupid. Don't say that. Teach your employees to hear the customer out, acknowledge what they're going through, and then get down to business with the solution. What is the solution in most cases? Putting the customer on the schedule. It's a simple structure. It has a dumb acronym, but it keeps them grounded in empathy while moving fast. Remember, speed, 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 speed. Use real stories from your team to show empathy and efficiency working hand in hand. When agents see it in action, it sticks. This is why everybody should have access to everybody's phone calls and be able to listen. Now, most softwares now will cut out any part with credit card numbers. I know Service Titan does. If your call recording software doesn't do this, get a new call recording software. Come on. All right. And then make resources readily available to your employees. Have a knowledge base, right? Have agent assist cards. Anything like that is fine, right? So have little scripting guidelines. You'll be okay. As much as I hate scripts, verbatim scripts, scripts are great. Verbatim scripts are not. But have little tiny blurbs that they can use in a pinch. Because sometimes on the phone, and I trust that you guys have been on the phone at least once in your life, right, with a customer, not with your mom. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, you forget what to say. Those little blurbs, those little pieces, those little nuggets, those little smidgens of a script can save your life on that call. All right? So, empathy and efficiency aren't a trade-off. They're not enemies. You can have both. So, when you have both, that's where the magic happens. You get a faster resolutions, you get happier customers, and a team that feels, well, better about themselves, right? Less talking, less gums flapping, more people getting helped. I think that's a good thing to have, right? Now, customers, especially in this industry, and many others, are calling us for real reasons. Often, they're really frickin' stressed out. So, you have to bring your A game. You have to bring your best out. You have to show them that you care about what's going on. And the best way of caring is to put them on the schedule. That's how you know that you're doing a good job, right? When your sentiment scores are high and your booking rate is high. Those honestly are the two most important KPIs that you can track in your trades call center. Is customer sentiment and booking rate. Period. Now, on Service Titan's website, right, in a blog post somewhere, they said that about 70% of the calls that a normal trades call center will take, 70% garbage, right? And by garbage, I mean non-bookable leads. Okay, they're not garbage. Unless, it's nothing but vendors and cold calling and stuff, which happens a lot. But 30% of those are 30% of the calls coming in are bookable leads. You should be booking 90% or more of that 30%. Right? For every 10 calls that come in, you should be booking 9 of them or more. Not 9.5. I don't know. But for every 100 calls that come in, you should be booking about 90 to 95 of them. Okay? Now, things like not having a dispatch fee or being really well trained and efficient and empathetic help with this. Right? You have to train your people. You have to have coaching. You have to spend time with your people and let them know how important it is. And then you can incentivize those two things, right? Even if you don't have access to sentiment scoring, you can use QA scoring for this, right? So those are two things that if you can't incentivize anything else, those two things should be incentivized. Booking rate, after reclassifications, and QA or sentiment scoring. Everything else is fluff. But because those things are the things that matter, right? You don't want to incentivize average handle time. Attendance is a good one, but you don't need to, right? But booking rate, and you can make these unlockable incentives too. Like if you take more than 60 calls in a day and you have a booking rate of 90%, you get a little spiff, right? So on and so forth. Adjusted accordingly, dependent to your call volume. But that's today's episode. You can be nice and you can be fast at the same time. The key to making customers actually use your business is asking for their business as opposed to just answering all of their questions. You don't have to go like stupid with it by like, you know, that really bad advice where it's, well, every time the customer asks a question, you ask them a question right back. You don't have to do that. That's cringe. Nobody likes that. The customer is going to be like, I was talking. Okay. So, but, you know, it is what it is. So that was today's episode. I'll see you next time. Thanks for checking out CX Riot Radio, and have fun. Bye.